Shri Krishna, Shri Krishna, Shri Krishna, Shri Krishna. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. The 7th chapter begins with a promise by the Lord that I shall tell you the Jnanam and the Vijnanam. Jnanam is the statement of fact about everything. And what is everything? The Jiva, Jagat, Ishvara and the absolute reality. Jiva, Jagat, Ishvara, three of them fall in the purview of relative existence, and the fourth is Mattaha Parataram Nanyat Kinchidasti Dhananjaya. After having told that, then the teacher told that everything is in me, but I am not in them. How it is possible? How I am supporting the total creation? So he gave 15 examples. Raso Hamapsu Kaunteya Prabhasmi Shashi Suryayoho, etc. And then it comes that you are present in everything and every being. If this is what you are, evam bhutam api, although you are like this, Parameshwaram nityam shuddha buddha mukta swabhavam sarva bhutanam nirgunam samsara dosha bija pradaha karanam mam na bhijanati jagat iti anukrosham darshayati Bhagavan. Bhagavan is feeling maybe feeling pity on the world or pity on himself. See, people don't recognize me. Of course, Bhagavan can never feel pity on himself. He is feeling compassion for the whole world, that this world is unable to recognize me, although I am present abundantly for everyone, in every place, in every time. Now the question comes, Tacha kinnimittam jagataha jnanam iti uchyate. So what is the reason because of which the people are not able to recognize the divine presence which is abundantly present? What is the reason? This is now explained in the 13th verse. Tribhir gunamayai bhavaihi ebhi sarvamidam jagata mohitam nabhijanati mamebhya paramavyayam. Tribhihi gunamayaihi gunavikaraihi ragadvesha mohadi prakaraihi bhavaihi padarthaihi ebhihi yathoktaihi. So by these three gunas and their modifications. So which are the three gunas? Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. What are their modifications? Sattva's modification is Jnanendriya and Antakaran Chatushtaya. And Rajoguna's modification is Prana, Karmendriyas and activities. And Tamoguna's modification is the total objective world. So, by these three gunas and their modification, which are those modification? Raga, Dvesha, Mohadi, Prakaraihi. So, when the Sattva guna comes in contact with the Tamoguna, it is just an illumination. This is a tree, or this is a paperweight. Here there is no problem. But a problem begins when Raga, Dvesha, Mohadi, Prakaraihi. When our interaction is followed by reaction, either in the form of likes and dislikes, we are unable to see what it is. We start seeing what we have decided to see. See? So what is Raga, Dvesha, Moha, likes, dislikes and delusion? It creates a situation wherein we are not available to what is, but we have already decided what to see or what to experience in this world. This is because of this prejudice, biasness in favor of or against something. What happens, if we become aware of this phenomena, you also must experience that this, that there is nothing wrong with a person, that person is not bad, and yet somehow or somewhere there is some kind of problem that your chemistry doesn't match with that of the chemistry of the other person. And you feel bad about it. I don't know why, but it just can't. So, this is how the reactions of the mind create a situation wherein we are not able to see what is as it is. Therefore, tribhi gunamayehi gunavikaraihi ragadvesha mohadi prakaraihi bhavaihi padarthaihi ebhi yathokdaihi sarvam idam pranijatam. So here jagat means what? Sarvam idam jagat. So jagat means pranijatam jagat. This has to be very straightly understood. In 4th chapter, if you remember, when Bhagavan says, Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata. We have seen there is never a glani of the dharma. Dharma never falls. Then what falls? Dharma is held in the hearts of the people. And when the people are no more able to accept that the righteousness is the right way, that non-acceptance of the people who are supposed to follow the righteousness, as the supreme way of life, when this is not accepted, that is called as fall of dharma. Dharma doesn't fall. In the same manner here, jagat, sarvam idam jagat mohitam. Whole world is deluded. World means what? Trees are deluded or what? No. The buildings are not deluded. The natural forces are not deluded. God is not deluded. Then who is deluded? It is the people. Therefore, pranijatam, the whole world, mohitam, avivekatam, apaditam sat. So it is unable to discriminate between the real and the superimposed. It is unable to recognize the divinity pulsating in and through the totality. And this is what we are trying also. When we look at the idol and Krishna, 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 what we are doing? We are looking at the idol, know very well it is made out of stone. We only bought it by bargaining. Now in that bargained object installed, we start practicing the presence of divinity. Bhagavan Sri Krishna is there. Now that divinity we are not ready to accept in his own creation. See? So what is the reason? Because towards that murti or idol there is no ragadvesha. But when we take the human beings or the people, then the personal likes and dislikes overpower us. And as a result, we are unable to recognize the divinity pulsating through, in and through the whole creation, good or bad, saints or the criminals, noble or the ignoble. The saints are the bad people. Everywhere it is the same conscious reality. So, mohitam na abhijanati mam ebhyaha yathoktebhyaha gunebhyaha param. So, mam ebhyaha yathoktebhyaha gunebhyaha param na janati. They don't recognize me. As what? That param vyatiriktam vilakshanam cha. Then I am someone who is supporting all the three gunas and their modifications, but I am uninfluenced by any one of them. Now see, what is that which is uninfluenced by any one of them? Is the unbroken, conscious, blissful existence. Waking comes and goes, it doesn't disturb me. Dream comes and goes, it doesn't disturb me. Sleep comes and goes, it doesn't disturb me. So this me who is supporting the modifications but not influenced by the modification, the ignorant people under the spell of delusion are not able to recognize me. This is the problem with Bhagavan. I feel so bad, they don't recognize me. Param Vyatiriktam Vilakshanam cha. I am other than them and Vilakshanam of the contrary nature. What is the contrary nature? Avyayam. Avyayam Vyayarahitam Janmadi Sarva Bhava Vikara Varjitam Ityartaha. Because all the three gunas are constantly undergoing changes. But me is the one who is not undergoing any changes. In this manner they do not recognize me. Now, katham punaha daivim etam trigunatmikam vaishnavim mayam atikramanti iti uchyate. So, if somebody wants to transcend this maya or the trigunatmika prakriti, how this can be done? Now, this is said in the 14th mantra. Daivi hesha gunamayi mama maya duratyaya mame vaye prapadyante maya me tam taranti te. Daivi devasya mama ishvarasya vishnoho svabhuta hi. So, Daivi means that which belongs to Ishvara, Vishnu, me, Swabhuta, and it is self-existing. It is not because of anything outer agency. Hi yasmad esha yathokta gunamayi mama maya duratyaya dukkhena attaya atikramana yasya sa duratyaya. So, this maya of mine, which is having the components of the three gunas, is very difficult for the people to transcend, to go beyond. Dukkhena atyayaha atikramanam yasya sa. So that it is very difficult to transcend the limitations of the three gunas. Now see how the three gunas are keeping Paramatma away from us. First is the influence of the Nama Rupatmak Jagat. The names and forms become so important for us that the support of these all names and forms is rejected. Therefore, this tamoguna covers the reality by pulling us into the vortex of names and forms. Then Rajoguna. Rajoguna hides the reality by way of kartrutva abhiman, the doership. So as long as we have that I can do this, I am doing this, the truth is pushed away. Because then we start imagine that by the action the truth is created. And this is how the Rajoguna covers the reality and it is difficult to transcend. And the third one is the Sattvaguna. How the Sattvaguna covers the reality? When the goodness of ours overpowers us so much that we are all the time happy only by being good. And then our goodness slowly starts expressing as comparison with the other people. How other people are bad and we are good. And thus it reduces to Rajoguna and again Tamoguna. This is how the three gunas, Daivi Hesha Gunamayi. Gunamayi also means, Guna means the rope. So these three gunas are tying us down and push us away from the reality or pull us away from the reality. Daivi Hesha Gunamayi Mama Maya Duretteya. And this Maya is Mama Maya, belonging to Bhagavan. See? We have seen the Parabrahma, Paramatma with the conditioning of the Panchakoshas is called as Jiva. The same Parabrahma, Paramatma with the conditioning of the Maya is called as Ishvara. So, Veshahanataha, when the Vesha, the conditioning of the Panchakoshas and the Maya, when they are discarded, then Eka, there is only one reality. So what will be the spiritual practice? Discard the Panchakoshas and the Maya. So you can discard your Panchakoshas because they belong to you. Maya doesn't belong to you. How can you discard? You can't go and tell a person, hey, please divorce from your wife. No. How can you discard? There is only one way, and that one way is surrendering before the Lord. And this is what Bhagavan brings a introduction of the element of devotion in Bhagavad Gita from this verse onwards as a special process of devotion. So, Daivi Hesha Gunamayi Mama Maya Duratyaya Mameva ye prapadyante Maya Mitam Tarantite. So, Tatra evam sati sarva dharman parityaja Mam eva Maya vinam swatma bhutam sarvatmana ye prapadyante Maya Mitam sarva bhuta mohinim taranti atikramanti samsara bandhanat mucchante ityartaha. So, this being so, Tatram evam sati sarva dharman parityaja, giving up all the hang-ups about the Rajoguna, Sattva-guna, Tamo-guna, dharma of these gunas, sarva dharman parityaja, mam ekam mayavinam swatma bhutam sarvatmana, sarvatmana by all means, under all conditions, ye prapadyante, those who hold on to me, they alone, these sarva bhuta mohinim mayam taranti atikramanti, they alone transcend the limitation of this relative existence. Now here, one story I read. There was a pond and the fish were playing. And when the fish were playing, this fisherman went to catch with a net. When the fisherman went with the net to catch, he will take his net and throw, and slowly he will catch all the fish. So when the fisherman came, all the fish started running away from the fisherman so that they should not be caught by him. But there was one very intelligent fish, the big fish. And he came and stood nearer the feet of that fisherman. So the fisherman will throw this net everywhere except on his own feet. And this is how he was saved. In the same manner, the more we go away from the Paramatma under the influence of these three gunas, the more we are caught up. Therefore, the only way is go nearer to the reality. This is what this eva word brings. Now see what it brings. Ye mam eva prapadyante te etam mayam taranti. Mam eva. Those who surrender to me alone, they alone transcend this Maya. Why you alone? Because she is my Maya. Me alone is what? First. Second thing, ye prapadyanti eva te etam mayam taranti. So those who only do this, that prapadyanti eva, there is no other path. Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja. And the third, ye Mam prapadyante eva te eva etam mayam taranti. So eva can be added to these two places. So those who are surrendering to me, they alone are able to transcend the limitation of this Maya. So in this manner, Mameva ye prapadyanti mayam etam taranti te. Oh, this is such a simple technique. You know, one of the most difficult spiritual path is the path of devotion. Do you know why this is difficult? In the path of devotion, the first thing that we have to do or start is discard your individuality and ego. And in all other paths, path of karma, the ego of doership is there. Path of yoga, the ego of the doership of yoga abhyas is there. Path of knowledge, the ego of study, understanding is there. But in case of the devotion, you start directly lying on the floor. So when you are already falling on the floor, there is no further fall possible. Because devotion begins with surrender. And what is attained through all other paths is nothing but the surrender, liquidation of the ego. And therefore, this is the most simplest path, but very difficult because we are under the influence of this Maya. Either we want to prove anything in this world, or we want to justify something, or we want to achieve something. See, there is one Swami was asking me, Swamiji, will you please help me and guide me? I said, what for? He said, I have now taken sannyas, everything is done. Now please tell me, now what next I have to do? So I said, now after you have taken sannyas, now give up sannyas. Give up. No. You are not understanding. I said, yes, I am not understanding. If you have taken sannyas, then you can give up. Because you have only taken. I cannot give up your sannyas. No, you tell me what I should do. See? That means, chant the mantra. Na karmana na prajaya dhanena tyage nege amritatva manashu. Then what should I do? Karma is there. Or else, shall I start some social activities, school, colleges and all that? Will that be good for my spiritual progress? Dhanena. And then the same people chant the mantras. Na karmana na prajaya dhanena. That means these mantras have no meaning whatsoever except the musical intonation at a particular function. Not beyond that. Therefore, these Gunamayi Maya ties us down either in the worldly possession, dhanam, artha, or kama, the rajoguna, or the dharma, the sattvaguna. These three things. So how this Maya ties us down? Dharma, artha, kama. These three are the areas where we are tied down in this world. And all of them are the same category. Therefore, never forget our Nachiket. Anyatra dharmat, anyatra adharmat. Transcended the sattva guna. Anyatra asmat krita kritat rajoguna. Anyatra bhutacha bhavyacha tamoguna. And then become extremely subjective. Yat tat pashyasi tadvada. Now explain me your experience of being. So, those who are thus able to transcend these three gunas by surrendering to me, they alone are liberated from samsara bandhanat, from the relative existence. Unless this will go deep in your understanding, my teaching is a failure. What has to go in your deep understanding? Relative existence is the bondage, and absolute reality is the truth, freedom. And in this relative existence, there is nothing that can be achieved, protected, changed, modified. This has always been like this. See? Otherwise, we walk this path and again try to prove something, try to achieve something, try to demonstrate something, try to justify something. No need. To that sannyasi I was telling. I said, your problem is that now you have become a sannyasi, okay. So now what you have to do? Do you want to prove to the world that I am a better sannyasi than others? What do you want to do now? Tell me. Or you have to justify. If justification comes, you have doubt. If you want to prove, you have arrogance. Therefore, when we have reached the absolute, the relative existence, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, Brahmachari, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, Sannyasi, and everything disappears. Varnashramaचा अभिमान तो श्रुतीचा दास जाणं. So as long as we are caught up in this relative existence, we are far away from the truth. This is how to get out of the relativity, hold on to the absolute. And that absolute is called in devotion as Bhagwan. Mam eva prapadyanti. Now this Mam, to me those who surrender. Now what is the meaning of this me, I? For the devotee, that I could be someone other than himself. For the yogi, that I is the Saguna Nirakar, Antaryami. And for the path of knowledge, Vedanti, I means Atmaiva tu me matam, the absolute self. So whichever way you take, but hold on to this I. In whichever way it is possible, then only we will be able to transcend the limitations of these three gunas. Now the question is raised. Yadi tvam prapanna mayam etam taranti kasmat tvam eva sarve na prapadyante. O Lord, if everybody can transcend the limitation of the relative existence by surrendering to you, why not these people surrender to you? So here Bhagwan gives the reply. Namam dushkrutino mudhaha prapadyante naradhamaha mayaya pahrutajnanaha asuram bhavamashritaha. In the next verse, the word is Chaturvida bhajante mam. 4 types people follow me. And in this verse, the word is not used Chaturvidha, but 4 types of people are only told. So, Chaturvidha dushkrutinaha mam na prapadyante. Like Chaturvidha mam bhajante, similarly Chaturvidha dushkrutinaha mam na prapadyante. So, who are those? First, dushkrutinaha, mudhaha, naradhamaha, mayaya apahruta jnanaha, and asuram bhavamashritaha. So, dushkrutinaha are those who have these 4 degrees at the end of their name. First, mudhaha. Second, naradhamaha. Third, mayaya apahruta jnanaha. And 4, asuram bhavamashritaha. All of them put together are called as dushkrutinaha mam na prapadyante. They do not surrender unto me. Namam Parameshwaram. To me, the Parameshwara, dushkrutinaha papakarinaha. Because they are engaged in the sinful existence. Now, sinful existence means what? Anything that will strengthen your existence as a relative being is sin. anything that will strengthen relativity as real is a sin. It is something like, for example, we are chanting the Lord's name. Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. One sweet Punjabi was chanting. Om Namo Shivaya, Om Namo Shivaya, Om Namo Shivaya. So, I said, hey, Mahatma ji, thoda badal lo, change little bit. It is not Om Namo Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. Why? When Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, why not Om Namo Shivaya? So, when we are chanting the Lord's name, is it going mechanically or to prove something before the world? Or it is a burden that we are carrying? Or no, we are told our Guruji that, I will chant so many times, japa I will do, and therefore I have to do. Then we are Mahapapi. Second thing, if we are doing the yoga abhyas and not tada drashtuhu sarupe avasthanam purpose, not for the asampradnyata yoga or sampradnyata yoga, but only for the surface swimming, then I also do yoga. That is the only thing. So, if that is happening, then we are papi, mahapapi. Similarly, papinaha, who are those dushkrutinaha, papakarinaha? Those who are engaged, now I am summarizing, those who are engaged in dharma artha kama, they are mahapapi. Because dharma artha kama takes you away from your essential self. Artha and kama takes, we understand. Dharma also takes, this we don't understand. How the dharma takes us away from the reality? Because we are tied down in the relative existence. And therefore, dharma takes us away from the truth. And therefore, namam parameshwaram dushkritinaha papakarinaha. Then mudhaha. So who are those dushkruti, papakari? They are mudhaha. First qualification. Mudha means what? Mudha means those who are constantly living in the memory of the past and thereby living an imaginary existence of successful or the failure existence. They are called as mudha. They are the most egoist people. All the time talking, discussing about their past or about the past of others. You just watch, this is worth watching. You also must practice this in your life. Never talk anything about your past and never ask anybody about their past. If we really mean the spiritual path. But the people ask, then you bluff. Don't worry about it. You will not incur sin. Because by this bluffing, what you are going? You are going nearer to the self. So it is not a papa. And if you will go, yes, I was born, on the tree, and then, I dropped my tail, and then on the way, I came across a great Mahatma called as Darwin, and then the Darwinananda gave me Upadesh, and then I started living as a human being. There is no need. There is no need. Don't bring your past even once. The result is you start remaining in the present without the load of the past. Why I am insisting you on this point? Because we come across many people who have this problem. They are unable to drop their past. So constantly they go on talking about the past so much that you feel like plugging their mouth with a cotton ball. Just can't stop. continuously. And they get so interested and involved in that, it is some kind of, a disgust. So, it is essential for us that we don't bring the past in the present and destroy. Second aspect of mood is all the time imagining that the present should be continued in the future always. This never happens. One lady I met, very nice family, everything is excellent in their family, kind of an ideal family if you can think of that family. So, husband, wife, children, their wives, their children, all of them staying together, a good business, and very happy-go-lucky. No tensions, no nothing. There is no fight between the mother-in-law, daughter-in-law. Everything is excellent. Now that mother-in-law, one day she came, and she started crying. I said, Amma, what is the problem? Stomachache, headache? No, Swamiji, God has given me everything. There is nothing that I can complain. Now my only fear is that किसी की नजर न लग जाए. So may this happy mood in our family continue all through. It should not change. They are called as a mood. Now you are happy now, they enjoy. But imagining the future failure or calamities, you start destroying the present. So who are the moodhaha? And it is the plural, majority. So they are constantly wanting the past to be brought in the present and want the past to be continued in the future. Both these things are impossible because we have no choice but to live in the present. So, mudaha mam na prapadyante. Now second thing is naradhamaha. Naradhamaha naranam madhye adhama nikrishtaha. Among human beings, they are the worst kind. Now what is the worst kind? There are 4 types of people told in our scriptures. First is called as Pashu, Pashavaha. They are leading the life like the animals. No discrimination, no thinking, no dignity of human existence. Like the animals live as animals, irrespective of anything around. In the same manner, these people are leading. They are called as Pamara. The second are called as the Vishayi. Vishayi are those who are interested only in the indulgence. The third are called as the one who are walking the path of righteousness, and their righteousness is only as an investment so that they can get something in return. Like donation given to get the ATG certificate. This is called as Naradhamaha. So Namam Dushkrutunu Mudaha Prapadyanti Naradhamaha. Why they are adhama? They are worst among the human beings because the purpose for what human form is created remains unfulfilled in their life. The purpose of our birth is only one. Uthi uthi ba jivaraya sodi avidya ninjamaya vyartha zata se narakaya swarupi savadha hoyitu पंचकोशांचे पांघरुण विवेक हस्ताने काढून देहत्रयाचे अंतरुण वत्सा गुंडाळून ठेवितू. The whole thought is so deep. Instead of that, they get lost only in the relative existence. Therefore, they are naradhamaha. Ahar nidra bhaya maithunancha. This is not the purpose for what the human birth is taken. Now the third aspect of this dushkrutinaha is mayaya apahruta jnanaha. Because Daivi Hesha Gunamayi. So by this Maya Apavruta Jnanaha. So how the Maya takes away the knowledge? When the worldly objects, artha, when the indulgence, kama, and when the swarga, ityadi, dharma, when these three become the predominant pursuits of our life, we have become Maya Apahruta Jnanaha. So the student who has asked the question in the first chapter of our Prashnopanishad, they fall in this category, Maya Apahruta Jnanaha. They are interested to do the good karma and go to Pitruloka and Pitruyan by the Dakshina Marga. Or the other one, they will do the Upasana and by the Uttar Marga go to the higher world. But they will never want to know the truth absolute. So, te adhamaha, then Maya Apavruta, Samoshita Jnana, then Asuram Bhavam Ashritaha. And the fourth category is Asuram Bhavam Ashritaha. Asuram Bhavam is Himsa Andrutadi Lakshanam. Asuras are those who are of the destructive nature. They are very, very unhappy if somebody is happy. They are sadist. Like, there was one person who was going to the market. See, the neighbor asked, "Hey, are you going to market? Why? No, if you are going, can you get me newspaper?" "No, I was going to go, but now I will not go." "Why?" "Because you want newspaper." There are people like this. They are called as Asuram Bhavam Asita. In Sanskrit literature, one story comes. Asuram Bhavam. Two neighbors, an extreme enemy of each other, and always wanting to destroy the other fellow. So one fellow decides now how to destroy him fully. So he starts doing the tapasya of Lord Shiva. Om Namah Shivaya. The other fellow hears about it. He also goes and sits next to him. Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. Lord Shiva appears. Because two are together, finish it off in one go. You ask, what do you want? So he said, I will give the person who asks first, and the same thing I will give you in twofold to the next person. Now you ask. No, you ask. No, you ask. Because then other fellow will get twofold. So one crook, he said, okay, I'll ask. He said, "O Lord, make me blind with one eye." So that the other fellow is blind with both the eyes. Double he will get. So this kind is called as Asuram Bhavam Ashritaha. Himsa Andruta. Andruta is unrighteousness. So that is the way of their life. Such people can never think of the higher possibility. Such people can never think of the higher life. This is how these people who are engaged in the politics, or those who are engaged in killing others so that they can get the benefit, those who are engaged in kind of cheating and accumulating wealth, they all fall in this category of Asuram Bhavam Ashritaha. Now, contrary to that, Ye Punaha Narottamaha Punya Karmanaha, but those who are the best among the human beings and those who are engaged in the righteous lifestyle. Who are those and what are those? Chaturvidha bhajante mam jana sukrutinarjuna arto jijñasurartharthi jnani cha bharatarshava. Chaturvidha sukritinaha janaha mam bhajante. The four types of good people. Chaturvidha chatush prakaraha. So here we are seeing Chatusprakara Sukritinaha, and there are Chaturvidha Dushkritinaha. Mam na bhajanti. So who are those Chaturvidha bhajanti mam jana Sukritinaha Punya Karmanaha? Those who are engaged in leading the life of righteousness, good conduct and behavior. So who are those? Artha first. Arti parigruhitaha taskara vyaghra roga adina abhibhutaha apannaha. So artha means those who are under the influence of the pains or the miseries inflicted on them because of the thief or the tiger or the diseases, etc. Meaning, those who are carrying the load of miseries in their life, they come to me and say, "Oh Lord, please save me, everybody is cheating me. Oh Lord, please make me healthy, I am suffering. Oh long, make my life long because I want to live, I don't want to die." Such artha. The greatness of these devotees is, if they have a need, there is nothing wrong. But we must know to whom to approach. See, one day I was going somewhere and one beggar came. He said, "Maharaj, kuch de do, give me something." I said, one beggar is asking the other beggar. I said, "You are also beggar, I am also beggar. How can I give you?" He said, "You are also beggar?" I said, "Yes, sannyasi is a beggar. We only beg and take our bhiksha." "But then how come you are moving in the car?" I said, "Because I have begged car. I want to sit in the car and I got it." But when we ask, people don't even look at us. I said, "That is your problem. What can I do?" See, he became so stunned. He said, "I don't know what to talk to you. I said, "There is no need." But he said, "Anyway, give me rupees." I said, "I will not give you anything because I am also a beggar." He said, "Okay, then I will give you." I said, "You give me." And he gave me 1 rupee. I said, "Only 1 rupee? I don't take such a cheap, begging. Give me something more." "How much you want?" I said, 101. See, artha, those who are begging, but they are not going to the worldly people. They are coming to me. And in this manner, in their life, although worldly problems have prompted them, but that prompting has taken them not away from me, but they are brought nearer to me. This is what is called as Arjuna Vishada Yogo Nam. See, Vishada, tragedy comes in our life. But by that tragedy or the Vishada, do we go the wrong way? Or because of the tragedy and the Vishada, we turn around and start walking the spiritual path? See? Had there been no condition created by Lord, Arjuna would never have asked about the truth. The other day I told you, Bhagavan creates the situation. Please remember this. When he was told, "Senayor ubayor madhya ratham sthapayame chuta," take my chariot between the two armies, now Bhagavan had a choice. Where to take the chariot? Imagine, had Bhagavan taken the chariot in front of Duryodhana, will Arjuna ask any question? No. So, Bhagavan created a situation wherein he was plunged into this miserable doubt. And therefore, when he saw his near and dear, and then he was totally nonplussed. So whenever there is any bad event, any tragedy, anything in our life, understand, first chapter of Gita is working on us. Now if that first chapter of Gita is working on us, we will become the student of Gita and change ourselves. Because after Bhagavad Gita was heard, it is Arjuna who has undergone the change and not the situation of the battlefield. It continued to be the same. So they are artaha. taskara vyaghra roga adina abhivutaha apannaha. Then second artho jidnyasuhu bhagvat tattvam vidnyatum ichchati yaha. So who is jidnyasu? He who wants to know what is the Bhagavad Tattva, what is the reality, what is the absolute. And naturally, he who is keen to know the truth, he will definitely discover the truth. Because what is lacking is our keenness and sincerity of efforts. If we are extremely keen, we can. And such a jidnyasu, he is a sukrutinaha. Because what is the punya karma, what is the righteous lifestyle, what is the goodness in him, that he wants to know the truth. This is the goodness. Therefore, sukrutinaha. Like this thought is a little bit similar seen in Ramcharitmanas. Tulsidaji describes on the battlefield that how these terrible Rakshasas, somebody was eating the buffalo, somebody was eating the donkey, somebody was killing others, and they were doing a lot of physical exercises, and they became very strong and arrogant and all kinds of things. Then he says, why I am describing these Rakshasas so much is only because they are going to ultimately take bath in the arrows shot by Bhagwan Ramachandra. So that is their qualification. See? And therefore I am singing and describing them. So here also, Jidnyasuhu, he who is the seeker of the truth is definitely a punya karma. He is the righteous one. Such a person, such people, they definitely do my bhajan. And for jidnyasuhu, then artharthi, dhanakami or dhanakamaha, the one who is the desirer of wealth. So they will go to the market before going, Siddhi Vinayak Bhagwan, and then go and buy the lottery ticket and again bring it back, again go to Siddhi Vinayak and put some, kumkum from there on that ticket and pray to the Lord, oh Lord, oh Lord, oh Lord, I give you. Because artharthi, they are using the Lord as the means and wealth as the goal. One day it may change the other way around, who knows. And therefore they are the artharthi. And the last one is jnani, Vishnoho tattvavit cha he bhartarashabha. So he Arjun. And the fourth one is the jnani, Vishnoho tattvavit, he who knows the essence of the all-pervading reality. Here Vishnu means not the Shankha Chakra Gada Padma brand. Vishnu means Vyapakatvat Vishnu, the one who is all-pervading, the absolute reality, which has not suffered the limitations of the relative existence. Those who are the knower of this absolute reality, they do my bhajan. Now here also, bhajante mam. So this bhajan also has to be understood at three levels. At the level of the body through seva, at the level of the speech through singing the glory of the Lord, and at the level of the mind by inquiring about the truth, by contemplating on the reality. In this manner, these four people do my bhajan, those who are of good conduct and character, and the four who are of bad conduct and character, namely Mudha, Naradhama, Mayaya, Apahurta Jnana, and Asuram Bhava Masrita. They never think about God or higher reality. They are buried under the load of relative existence. After having given these two types of the people involved in this world, now Bhagwan is trying to establish that the one who ultimately comes to discover Maya Tatamidam Sarvam Jagadavyakta Murtina or Mattaha Paratram Nanyat Kinchidasti Dhananjaya, that is the highest attainment. To show that he now compares in the 17th verse, Tesham jnani nitya yuktaha eka bhaktir vishishyate priyo hi jnaninotyartham aham sacha mama priyaha. Tesham chaturunam madhe, among the four described in the 16th verse, artho, jidnyasur, artharthi and jnani, tesham chaturunam madhe, jnani tatvavitvat, being the knower of the truth, nitya yukto bhavati, he alone is nitya yuktaha. Why nitya yuktaha? Because he is united with the nitya. If you are wanting to hold on to something eternally, it is not possible if that something is temporary. See? Can we hold on to the youth eternally? You cannot. Why? Because the youthfulness is temporary. Can we hold on to the time eternally? No, you cannot, because time is temporary. It is not the same. It goes on changing. Can you hold on to the people around us eternally? No, they will leave and you will be standing there alone, carrying their dead bodies all the time. Therefore, Nitya Yuktaha is possible only when we are one with the eternal principle. And oneness with the eternal principle is possible only when Brahmatmaikya Bodha takes place for the Jnani. And therefore, this Jnani Tattvavit Tattvad, he being the knower of the truth as undivided absolute reality, he Nitya Yukto Bhavati, and he Eka Bhakti hi cha, and he also Eka Bhakti. Why Eka Bhakti hi? Anyasya bhajaniyasya adarchanat. Because for him there is none other than the self, and therefore his devotion is uncompromising, without any divided loyalty. See, in the relative world, the devotion will be always divided loyalty, vyabhicharita. Suppose, there is one young man, very nice one, he was offered a job, so he came to me, Swamiji, shall I take? I said, you take this job, resign the present job. No, but they are telling, this is such a good government job and all that. I said, then why did you ask me? Do whatever you like. He said, okay, if you are telling that, he has to take that job. He has taken that job. Then he said, but if I had to resign that, I had to pay 3 months salary. And then I said, you go and take the job, don't pay the salary, nothing will happen to you. Remember, this is Mera Bharat Mahan. So he went there. After he continued there working for about a year or two, he was picked up by another company, international. He is a genius. And they gave him a huge sum in comparison to the present one. So he again, this is what is happening. They are asking me, if I go, will it not be cheating my mother company who took me here, this thing, that thing? I said, look here, you are in a marketplace as a commodity. Whosoever is paying you more, you go. Keep your loyalty to money. Then only you will grow in your life. Otherwise you will become emotionally corrupt, and in multinational companies, if a person is stagnant for a long period of time, he is considered as most unfit person. Do you want to become like that? So, in the relative world, there cannot be devotion or commitment to anyone. But in the absolute, anyasya abhavatvat or anyasya bhajaniyasya adarchanat, because there is none else in this absolute, and therefore he is eka bhakti and vishishyate. This is the greatness of the devotee, who is the jnani devotee, who is the one who has with understanding. Vishesham adhikyam apadyate atirichate ityartaha. And therefore, eka bhakti vishishyate. So this is the greatness of the Jnani, because he has discovered me as none other than his own self, and therefore he is ever united with me, because for him he and me are not two. The duality has disappeared for good, and therefore Vishesham adhikyam apadyate. Therefore he is definitely deserving a special mention. And priyo hi yasmat aham atma jnaninaha ataha tasya aham ityartaha priyaha. And therefore, because I am the self of the jnani, priyo hi yasmat aham atma jnaninaha, because I am the self of the jnani, and therefore he likes me the most. Why? Prasiddham hi loke atma priyo bhavati iti. It is known in this world that Atmanastu Kamaya Sarvam Priyam Bhavati. And I am the Atma, the self of the Jnani, and therefore he loves me. It is natural. There is nothing, he doesn't have to do any special effort. So Tasmat Jnaninaha Atmatvat Vasudeva Priyo Bhavati Ityartaha. And therefore, for this Jnani, the Vasudeva being his own self becomes extremely dear. And such a Jnani, and that Jnani, to him, Vasudeva, I am the most beloved one, to that Jnani, Mama Vasudevasya Atma eva iti. And that Jnani is also my Atma. And therefore, Mama Atyartham Priyaha. And therefore, he is extremely dear to me. Meaning what? Both of them are neither dear to each other, nor they hate each other, because there is no two-ness left. They are one and never two. So in this manner, this Jnani is glorified among the different kinds of people seeking the Lord. When the Jnani is thus glorified, a question is raised. Kim na tarhi artadayaha trayo vasudevasya priya? No. Kim tarhi? So when you say Jnani Atyartham Priyaha, he is extremely dear to me, then the other three, the Artha, Jignasur, Artharthi, Bhagavan doesn't like them or not. No, it's not like that. Don't take out the meaning which I have never said. This is how many times people dig out the meaning which is never said. So, Udara Sarva Evaite Jnani Tvatmaiva Me Matam Asthitas Sahi Yuktatma Mamevānuttamām gatim. Udara utkrishta sarva eva ete trayaha api mama priya eva ityartaha. No, don't say like that. Others also sarve ete udara. All of them are very good. Now why they are very good? Because they are coming to me. They are not going to the relative world. And although they are approaching me through the relativity, but there is a possibility that through their approach to me through relativity, they may attain the absolute wisdom. It is possible. And therefore, they are also equally dear to me. Udara sarva evaite. Then what about nahi kaschit mad bhaktaha mama vasudevasya priyo bhavati? So me, Vasudeva, for me, none of my devotees is not dear. Everybody is dear to me. And however, jnani tu atma eva me matam. However, jnani tu atyartham priyo bhavati iti visheshaha. But jnani is definitely little more dear to me. Tat kasmad ityaha. Now why you are again being biased against the jnani, in favor of jnani? Jnani tu atma eva, na anya, mattaha iti mama matam nishchayaha. Because I am very clear that the jnani is not other than me, and he is my own being. And therefore, I am very clear about it. Iti me nishchayaha mataha. This is my firm conviction. And astitaha sahi yuktatma mam eva anuttamam gatim. Now here one very beautiful thought Bhagavan develops. Astitaha arodhum pravruttaha. Now this jnani, he has taken the path of yoga. What he has taken the path of yoga? Aruruksho munir yogam karma karana muchyate yoga rudasya tasyeva shamak karana muchyate. And then yada hinendriyartheshu karmasu nanushanjate sarva sankalpa sannyasi yoga rudastadochyate. So this one. So astitaha arodhum pravruttaha. Now he is committed to walk this path of yoga so that he can merge his relative existence and come to discover the absolute self that he is. So arodhum pravruttaha sa jnani hi yasmad ahameva bhagwan vasudevo na anyaha asmi iti. And for that jnani, this is a clear conviction and ultimate goal, that I am none other than the Parabrahma Paramatma Vasudevaha, and therefore na anyaha asmi, I am not other than him. Iti evam yuktatma. In this manner, this yuktatma samahita chittaha. Now see, this is where the yoga abhyas comes into play. Yuktatma means samahita chittaha. He whose mind has attained the sayyama, dharana, dhyan, samadhi, and therefore with this proper instrument of understanding, he is now riding the steed of the yoga, and by this samahita chittaha san mam eva parabrahmam gantavyam. The mam eva gantavyam parabrahma, that abode which is to be reached by everyone, anuttamam gatim gantum pravruttaha ityartaha, and is unparalleled destination which is worthy of reaching. For that he is ready. So astita sayuktama mam eva anuttamam gatim. So he is special to me because now he has given up everything, and with his proper yoga abhyasa got the qualification. He has become the yoga rudha, and then he has started his journey on the Tattvamasi Mahavakya. If you remember, in the 6th chapter, Bhagavan Sri Krishna has brought this point very, very clearly when he says, Yunjannevam sadatmanam yogi vigada kalmashaha sukhena brahma samsparasham atyantam sukhamashnute. 20th verse of the 6th chapter. Evam yogi sada atmanam yunjan. In this manner he is practicing this yoga abhyasa. Sukhena brahma samsparasham atyantam sukhamashnute. Very easily he is able to discover the bliss absolute. And after having discovered the bliss absolute, that is called as the glimpses of the reality. Now these glimpses of the reality are to be experienced all the time. And then comes the Tattvamasi Mahavakyopadesh. This Tattvamasi Mahavakyopadesh is verse number 29, 30 and 31st. So, Sarva Bhutastam Atmanam Sarva Bhutani Jatmani Ikshate Yoga Yuktatma Sarvatra Samadarshinaha. And here also Astitaha Sahi Yuktatma Mamivan Uttamam Gatim. See, the Yoga Yuktatma in the 6th chapter, and here Yuktatma, they are one and the same. Therefore, the path of knowledge cannot be attained without we have practiced yoga abhyas sincerely. Otherwise, we are in the fool's paradise. There is no need. We can have any kind of lifestyle. Why should we do this? Why should we do that? No. These are all essential ingredients or the limbs of our total spiritual practice. Swastita sayuktatma mam eva anuttamam gatim. And what is that? Anuttamam gatim means unparalleled abode. Anuttamam gatim. And therefore, he is my own self. Jnani punaha apistuyate. Now again this Jnani is glorified by the Lord because he cannot but speak greatness about this seeker who is ready to dissolve his individuality and merge in the Absolute. Verse number 19. Bahunam janmanam ante Jnanavan mam prapadyate Vasudeva sarvamiti Samahatma sudurlabha. Vasudeva sarvam. Vasudeva is everything. That is not difficult. But he who knows this, that is very difficult. And how this Jnani is able to come to this position, how this takes place, this is said in the 19th verse. We will explain it to you in our next class. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnaat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.